build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die.
Hello everybody, welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty.
I'm Colin.
I'm John.
How you doing, guys?
All right, aye. That was good. That was a bit of jeopardy there at the start. Who's got to chime in first?
I was just playing chicken with Colin to see who would introduce each other.
How long we could wait. I was clicking away my message that comes up saying when he starts recording. I thought, well, by the time I've done that, John will have chimed in.
There you go. Recording on Friday night rather than Thursday. We're all a wee bit tired yesterday. You feeling better, Colin?
A wee bit, aye. I'm a wee bit better. Just had a bit of a cold and that since early in the week. Like the day before I went back to work. Like for 3 weeks, and then the day before I go back, I'm thinking, I'm fucked. But it's just been like just a cold.
Aye.
But one where just like the energy in that.
Kept the dressing gown on the railway.
Aye, it's just a nice small cardigan actually.
What about you, John? How you doing?
I'm absolutely fine, aye.
Good.
Yeah, on that dressing gown or house coat. Is what one's posher than the other? I always say dressing gown till I was married, and then she started calling it house coat, and I'm like, that's posh, but she would say dressing gown's posh.
Jane calls it a house coat, and it was a dressing gown when I was wee. We were the posh.
No.
But then neither was she. But
what are you, John? Where'd you land on this?
Dressing gown. I'm going to go with, we grew up, or I spent the first few years of my life in Pilton Avenue, and we had no money, and my old man called it a dressing gown, so house coat's posh.
Aye. Well,
house coat makes more sense, though, doesn't it? I need to get dressed. I better put a gown on first.
Aye.
Before I go get the rest of my clothes.
Yeah.
Like a house coat would be better. It's more like that, isn't it?
It was always a dressing gown. Like, so I'm Nidri. You were Whitburn then.
Aye.
The jewel and that.
The jewel.
Hilton. Also dressing, but then she's Gilmerton and they say house coat. So weird, eh? I think there's any social.
I wonder if there's maybe a garment out there that is maybe more like a house coat, like something that you wear inside to keep you warm, whereas a dressing gown was always like the first thing in the morning. Like you just go to your bed. Maybe it's back to front, I don't know. I'm talking myself out here now.
When does it turn into a smoking jacket?
When it's on fire.
That's a good answer, John. Right, get some questions.
But this is a cardigan, though, just for clarity.
It's a Christmas
cardigan.
I was only pulling your leg, but
I nearly wore my hoodie for the show, but I kept the cardigan.
Do you have one? Do you get a Christmas one?
No, I got one early November time because it was safe putting heating on it. That was the thinking behind it. It's hard when you're on a work call, so you just need to take it off in between.
What's the hoodie? Is that like the all over body hoodie?
It's like a massive oversized jumper, really, isn't it? They look cozy. Like Sophie's got one and Jess got one.
They're good. They're good.
It's hard to get. I'm at a size, but it's hard to get oversized stuff. You get stuff that's oversized and it's still a bit snug, and then it just gets depressing. So I think, fuck that.
Aye, but you buy your own size and it's an oversized in that size, isn't it?
It doesn't make any difference.
No.
But basically, unless I'm going to like marquee, it's cut a hole on the top of a marquee and just fucking wear that. Right.
You see that episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets the moo like the big flowery thing?
Fucking amazing, that one. He gets the wee bird to tap on his computer.
What was the one where like he's trying to dial a number on the phone, it gives him like a pre-recorded message that says, if your fingers are too fat, please mash the keypad now.
That's good, that. Simpsons is underrated, eh? Like, I used to watch The Simpsons all the time, and then I could tell last time I watched it.
Years since I watched it.
Sort of got superseded by Family Guy and American Dad, but Simpsons is a lot going for it. I finished watching The Office, the American one, last night.
Did you? Aye. Fucking that's been some shift.
Well, I'll tell you, we just got hooked on it, so you would put on, because they're only 20-minute episodes, 25 minutes, you'd maybe do like...
but there's a lot of episodes.
Hundreds.
Did you find yourself with the theme tune like bouncing along?
Now and again. I didn't skip the intro, Colin. I watched the intro and all of them as well.
That's adding extra time into your day as well.
Aye.
This theme tune.
There's a podcast, Pam and Angela for the show do a podcast where they're talking through all the episodes in order as well. So I started listening to that, but I'm not sure if I'll
You need to watch
it.
the episode. Nah, you get lost. You'd forget.
We would be better doing something like that than them. They kind of came what they're talking about because they were in it, but we would come up with the funny bits.
Aye, they'll bring insight.
Aye.
Oh, I remember he turned left and he was meant to turn right in that. It was so funny.
We'd have none of that. We would just go, fucking that bit was funny. Yeah. Right, anyway.
Yeah, see if you need to fill any time in on this. I know we're nearly up to 25 minutes for the questions. I sorted my eBay stuff out. Mind I was moaning about it last week.
Oh, you useless prick.
The one or the paid one. So I don't know. I can't remember which one I should put it on.
How did it end up?
So, because the boy called me a useless prick, I decided to offer him a partial refund to see if he would accept it, rather than just saying aye. You know what I mean? I did. I filled the box in wrong, right? I think I was lazy, trying to do it too quick. Never spent the time. Saying they were, I can't remember, fucking
regular fit and whatever it was.
Whatever, I tapered. That was it. So I fucked that up. But I went back. I messaged him. He never replied. Saying, mate, do they fit you? Because if they fit you, then like, what's the fucking problem, sort of thing. And he never replied. So then I just went in and I thought, I'll give him a partial refund then. So I offered him like 50% of what he paid or something back, and he accepted it. So I thought,
fair dues.
However, the good thing was there was two of them. He accepted one. The second one he never left open. So I had to chase him and say, mate. I never said mate. I thought I'm calling him mate after calling me useless prick. I says, you've sent you two, you accepted one, you never accepted the other one. So the useless prick, himself never fucking realised, and he had to go in and do it separately on it after I chase it. So he basically got the jeans for fuck all, but he paid for the postage.
Fair dues. Right. All right, move on to questions.
Have we done? Is that 5 minutes?
Thanks for listening. Right, Cal, at the Cal Chalmers, pet preferences is a category, and the question is, if you could guarantee they would get along with your existing pets, would you rather have a baby penguin or a baby monkey?
I could go with the monkey.
Right, what's your thinking?
I just think they'd be a better laugh. Like
Monkey's dead.
They jump about in that. Kind of a penguin. Be a bit nippy, maybe, but I think we got a better laugh.
John?
I'm tempted to say penguin because the penguin, I've never seen a video of a penguin flinging shite at anyone.
Or wanking. But then that would be funny. Like, did you see the thing when the walrus, it was wanking? I can't remember where that was. It was washed up somewhere, just sitting on the street, just lying there having a big fucking wank to itself.
Scarborough or something.
Scarborough, yeah.
Cancelled all their New Year celebrations.
Because this walrus had just kind of come out and just went, fuck yous, I'm having a wank. Now, can you imagine you sat down your dinner, you got the dog sitting down, behaving itself, everybody's getting engrossed in fucking Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or The Apprentice or whatever is on, and then out the corner your eye, what's me Dave up to? And he's just fucking there in the middle of it. And you get a message, a wee nudge to like, look at that, he's doing it again. You're not getting that with a penguin, are you?
If your pet monkey was having a wank in the corner, would you stop it, or would you just kind of let nature take its course?
You'd have to make an attempt to stop it, wouldn't you? Because otherwise,
like to be polite, to make it look like you were aware that it was a social faux pas.
A monkey's trainable, eh? A penguin wouldn't be trainable. Or are they? Because they do at the zoo, they have them marching about in that, eh?
Aye, they do.
Is that training or just repetitive behaviour for like feeding time?
What's the difference, aye?
I think there is a difference, but we've already taken up enough time, so you'll have to tune in for a later episode.
I don't know what it is.
How long, right, if you chose the penguin, John, how long would you give it before, without noticing it, you eventually found yourself walking like a penguin around the house?
I get about 5 minutes.
There's a boy over the road for us who he looks like Carl Pilkington, but he walks like a penguin. And for years, his nickname that we've given him, I don't know if you give your neighbours nicknames and that, but Pingu Pilkington is pretty much who he's fucking weird. See if I see him in the streets, if I open my door and he's at his door, I'll say, like, all right. And he'll go, all right, like that, right? And he'll say hello. if I'm round the corner and I see him and I say, all right, he fucking blanks it. He never says hello to Jane under any circumstances. So Jane says hello. So every time I see him, I'll fucking peep the horn, I'll wave, because I ken he's not going to fucking respond there. All the time, get big like always super happy to see him, just knowing he's going to go fucking heat down. Unless he's at his front door, or just coming to his front door.
Nice. Why do you think he does that?
I think again. I've never had a conversation with him. And he's been there for
Carol
years.
Pilkington, by the way. Like, once he done these programmes on Sky, did he just vanish?
No, he did acting, didn't he? So he did his Idiot Abroad, and then he did a show. I can't remember what his show was called. But he did an acting thing where he was like, I think it was him versus his conscience or something like that.
All right.
Or he was pals with a laddie or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh, I never watched that. I know what you mean. I've seen the trailer for it. Aye, I know what you mean. What's the best nickname you've had for a neighbour then? Just Pingu Pilkington, is that what you
Aye, Pingu's probably the best one. There was none others that were particularly funny. There was an old boy that used to sit live next door to us, and he looked a bit like, have you ever seen Poltergeist? I think it's maybe Poltergeist 2, there's a character called Kane, like a sort of minister, creepy. He looked a bit like him, so he got called Kane. And he was single when he first moved in, and then he was a bit older than us, got a girlfriend, and he used to play that Seasons in the Sun. Was it Boyzone that covered that, or Westlife? You can't when she was round, because that song was on fucking repeat, and you would hear it.
Oh, that was a shagging song, was it?
I don't know.
Sounds like it went on too long for that.
Aye.
It was on repeat. What about you, John? Did you do that? Because I didn't think. I thought it was like nickname your neighbours without them knowing. Like, I used to have one down the road, and it was funny because my next door neighbour in the old house, he also had a nickname for her. But it was a different nickname, but we had both done the same thing. It was like this woman, she was about 6'8", like ridiculous. And I called her Hightower, the he for Big Bird. Did you hear Big Bird? So it was Big Bird and Hightower.
Big Bird,
both, but aye, so it was like, but we both found out, it was her wife that found it out. She went, well, he called her fucking Hightower. So, aye, but aye, it's quite funny. I think a lot of folk do it, but I think it was probably done more in the old days when folk done racist things in that,
Aye, probably.
But, like, I didn't go down that route. But what, John, you done it? Is it just a thing you're going to have to think about?
No, it's something that I'm going to start now, though, and I'll report back because there are a number of different people nearby that I chat to, see about, like the neighbours and that.
The bin guy's got to be able to get sent.
He's just the wanker next door. TWND.
Aye, you did a better nickname for him than that, John.
Aye. What do you think?
Yeah.
Aye.
Report back next week. Text us. Text 295 and tweet us so we can actually see it. Right, Guinness 2022 category is elevator safety. In the unlikely event of finding yourself hurtling to the ground inside a lift, suffering a cable snap, if you decide to jump up at the last moment, do you escape with only a scratch?
No, I think the whole thing would just fucking, it would catch up with you, wouldn't it? It'll bounce back up.
How do you know what the last moment is?
It'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we like like that, and then you're it's about to hit fucking zero. Yeah. Jump quick.
So I've always thought of the last moment as being like the last moment, like the millisecond before it hits the floor. But say, for example, you want to jump when it got to 1, and at the speed that the lift is falling, would that effectively be the last moment?
If you could hang in the air like a striker as well, it might help you.
Well, that's the thing. Actually, I was watching something about
a better chance.
Michael Jordan earlier, like the hang time that he used to have. So, like, is someone like Michael Jordan better equipped to survive that scenario than, say, any of the three of us?
I thought you were going to say Danny DeVito.
Do you think I wouldn't come into it when it's hang time? It matters.
I think Danny DeVito was a good jumper. Do you know? That's my gut feeling.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking so much his height. I just thought I just tried to think of something that thought would be shit at jumping. Well, there's something about the physics. You know, like you pretty much you land at the same velocity that you take off from. So if you're already coming down at that speed, if you were to spring up, by the time you come back down, I think you'd be back at the same
Would you
speed
though?
again.
Would that not? Is that not like effectively braking a wee bit though? Like
Is it the same sort of principle that if you are standing on a train and you jumped, you land in the same place?
Aye, so it's like a relative.
Relative velocity.
Describe it. Relative velocity, something like that. It's like with a fly. If a fly's inside a train, and a fly can fly just at normal speed, but still progress up the train, even though the train carriage is going at 120 mile an hour.
Is that so? That's going along the way, whereas a lift something down the way. Is that making any difference?
I think it's the same principle. Because you can jump on a plane while it's taking off, and you still jump and land. It wouldn't like you would, because the plane would be accelerating upwards at a greater speed than you could jump, but you would still leave the ground, hang for a second, and land again on the plane. So,
but there is also something about, like, say, using the same train scenario. If you were to run in the opposite direction, you could jump out the door. Why? And does that potentially explain the possibility of surviving the lift plummet to the ground if you jumped? Like, do you break that contact with the elevator or the plane or the train that you happen to be in?
But in that case, you would be jumping out at the speed the train was going. So you would.
See, if the train's coming right 100 mile, 125 miles an hour that way, right, left to right, and you're running the other way, and you jump out the back doors, how fast would you be going? Because you're like running, would it be like 125 minus 10 mile an hour, whatever you're running?
Aye, pretty much, but in the direction the train's going. So when you jumped out, you would still be travelling.
Drag back.
Aye. Yeah. I think.
It seems like maths.
You know what? Somebody that gets it, let's sit and listen to this going, fucking morons.
Fucking idiots. See, it's interesting though about the lift thing, because I had thought of that in a lift before, like when it goes down, because I went before when it has kind of dropped, not to the ground and crashed, but just like a couple of kids dropped the floor or got stuck in a lift. But I have considered it. John's obviously considered it. Is it something you thought about?
Well, not so much in the lift scenario. I was thinking more a plane. If a plane was going to crash and you went, what I'll do is I'll take the emergency exit seat because I can get the leg room. But also the added advantage is when we're crashing, I can look at the window, go, like, about to hit the ground, open the door, jump out, and if I spring up from the plane, that'll slow me down a bit. And then you can just forward roll onto the ground.
What makes you think you can jump better than Danny DeVito?
I never said I could jump better. I'm just not as good at jumping as who did you say, Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan,
aye. I'm not saying I'm a good jumper. I could just jump enough.
It's a good point though. You could maybe even finish it with a flourish, kind of if you're in the sea, like somersaults or something.
Aye, forward roll.
Because that would also slow you down.
Aye.
Matty Tom Daly Fairney, is that what we're calling him?
Aye.
Right, Charlie McGrew thinks he made that up. Said, looking at the St Mirren crest, I think I've worked out that St Mirren was the patron saint of ruining arseholes with butt plugs.
It's definitely not going to work.
Oh, there we go. You see these two wee red star things and then the two wee black. That's right, butt plugs. What was St Johnson the patron saint of? Is the question. If St Mirren was the patron saint of butt plugs, St Johnson, surely by the name, St Johnson just has to be Bobby's then, like your Johnson. Patron saint of cocks.
I'm just saying.
But he's doing that based on the St Mirren badge, though.
Yeah, what's the St Johnson badge like again?
It's
Tractor.
An eagle. An eagle, like a two-headed eagle. I'm sure there's is it a griffin? Is that what they call it?
Is it?
I reckon what that is. It looks like it's having a shit or something, though.
Maybe it's the patron saying to
Shitting birds.
bird shooting. It does look like it's having a bit of a jobby.
Yeah.
Like
Is
it's
that-
maybe
is
it's
that
coming
because
to
of the
land and
expression
left
on
a
its
bit.
face, or the stance?
It looks
Well,
like
they're
a
not making eye
two-headed.
contact. They're not making eye contact. That definitely, because I'd imagine that would be off-putting, eh?
It's like a two-headed bird that's come in and it's had a wee jobby hanging out its bum and it's left a big skid mark all on the ground.
If you were a two-headed person,
Mm-hmm.
what scenarios would you avoid making eye contact for yourself, and which scenarios would you definitely make eye contact with yourself?
Is it two-headed person with everything else is just one-off, or
Yes,
like, or a normal body, if you like, rather than.
I'm assuming that the two heads are kind of roughly pointing in the same direction and they're attached by one neck.
I think you need to have two necks.
Right, okay.
So you could independently turn
Aye, so
and look at each other. And
yeah. And therefore you would have two brains as well, because you wouldn't be able to have like 360-degree vision. Otherwise your brain wouldn't compute that. So
two necks,
two
heads, two brains, but one body.
Yeah, 4 ears, 4 eyes, 2 noses, 2 mouths.
And the brains and the heads work independently of each other.
Yeah.
Do you know, see, for the most part, I think throughout the day, I would do that thing where I would just stare at my other head. Just be that awkward cunt, like just always looking.
Would you make them responsible for steering then? So making sure you didn't bang into anything?
Aye, I think so.
And what social situations or antisocial situations would you avoid looking at them?
I'm just thinking about, see, if you're driving the car, when you get to the end of a junction and the passenger might go, "You're all right, my way." Do you think you would still look past that second head because you do believe it?
What would be funny is they'd lean forward as well, so you'd be like, "Fucking, don't try to lean past each other."
Do you do that when you're out in the motor with the missus or with a mate or whatever? Like if you're in the passenger seat, you look to the left and they look to the right, and you sit and you say to them, "Right, you're good after this car. You're still good. You're still good. You're still good. You're still good."
Myself. I
I'll
don't
just-
trust anybody.
yeah.
You can do it if you like, but I'm just not trusting it. Like, no,
Unless
not
it's a really
deliberately.
shit junction.
I just
Some
can't help
junctions you
it.
can't really see very well, and you're relying on them.
Yeah.
Taking a shite, would you just pretend it wasn't happening? Or I suppose it would depend on the relationship you had with them. Do you think you would get on? You'd be a fucking pisser if you didn't like them, eh?
Well, it's an independent brain.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were like making love, right? Having sex, whatever. And one of you didn't like the other person. And you're like, "Am I going to have to hang about here, aye?"
Aye.
When you say didn't like the other person, do you mean the person that the other head shagging?
Aye. Mm-hmm.
Who controls the erection in that scenario then? Because they could put up an embarrassing blocker on you there.
That's a really good point, actually. So say the head that wasn't bothered about the person that the other head was shagging, could you start having like negative, unsexy thoughts?
Or just whisper in the other one's ear going, "I don't like that." It's clearly not enjoying it.
Have
Turn her
you
over.
done this before? I get a nightmare because now what I'm thinking about is the points of conflict you would have. Like if one of you fancied a quick pint, another one wanted to get home and watch the football. You just end up running on the spot. Like, you'd be trying to get away. One leg would be fucking hoofing it. The other one would be trying to drag it back. You just give in that case. Just have a pint.
Yeah.
I'll have a pint and we'll watch the football.
Go to a bar and watch the football in the bar.
I think you just have to have shifts.
You're a bit like
when you're in charge of the body.
Aye,
like
take it in turns.
Could you imagine drawing up a rota for your two Hibs?
Because there could be times when you get to somewhere, like a wee retail park or something, you fancy a Greg's and they fancy a Burger King.
Aye.
And you're like,
feel like being married.
But better.
What will we get for tea? You decide. No, I didn't want that. All right, okay. You've got to decide though, eh?
Right. St Johnstone, then what did we say? Patron saint the Siamese twins. Is that what we've pretty much landed? Or co-joined twins? I can't call them Siamese twins now. Is that what we landed on?
Aye, I will go with that.
Right. 150k in Hanlon Hill said, why did Alvin Stardust only have one glove? And was Wacko Jacko a fanboy? Do you remember Alvin Stardust?
I remember the name.
He sort of looked like a bit like a teddy boy with big sideburns and the sort of moufflon hair and that, and he had one glove. I never quite understood that. Even like golfers, I didn't understand why they would put one glove on.
Do you know what his full name was?
Yeah.
Bernard William Jury. What a weird looking character.
Yeah.
And he's never been done for sex crimes.
Well,
as far as I know.
Maybe.
Oh, he's died. He died.
Oh,
He's 72.
So let's pretend he was then. If he's
yeah.
Are you sure about this rule, Colin?
I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
I'm not saying anything, so I'm all right anyway. But I'm pretty sure that's the law. But the golf question's good. About the one glove. It's maybe the same reason. Maybe he just liked golf.
Maybe he just come for the golf course before he did his songs and his adverts.
Why
he did a road safety advert.
John, you play golf, do you know?
Occasionally, yeah.
Do you wear one glove or no gloves?
Sometimes one.
Why?
I think it's meant to give like better grip.
What would two give you better then?
Aye. Why not? Gloves him.
Do you know who would be able to answer this better? Would be Dave Graham. He plays far more golf than I do. But I think your left hand is your dominant. Well, depending on which one.
Is that when you're gripping the club with the most, basically?
Aye.
The other one's just like a free hand that goes on top of the other one or something.
Aye, kind of. That's my limit.
And if you put two gloves on that, because your hands overlap, If you put a second glove on, then it wouldn't be as good a grip as just your skin on the glove.
Aye, sounds good.
Do you wear the rest of the golf uniform, John? Like polo shirt and funny trousers?
Absolutely,
and all the rest
fucking
of it? I never understood that.
The rules? I thought it was the rules. I thought the clubs had rules that you had to wear.
Some rules do. I think the more expensive. Well, I don't know actually. I was going to say the more expensive the golf club. I think the stricter they might be on, like trousers and collars and what have you. But the golf club that I was a member of, they weren't really that bothered. I think golfing attire's starting to change a wee bit to try and attract a younger player.
Your normal person.
I think in the last couple of years you've seen who was the boy that won the Scottish Open, the Australian guy, and Rory McIlroy. Like they've been out on the course recently with like golf hoodies on, which is kind of like really pushing the envelope a wee bit.
Next time you go, John, full Hibs kit, football boots and everything, shin pads, and a glove, one glove, a goalie glove though.
Right, okay.
A boxing glove.
Why do they all wear caps, golfers? Or sun visors? Like, it's not always sunny, yeah?
No, it's not.
Is it just a sponsorship thing? Or is it? Because it's funny, I always look ridiculous. They take their hat off and they've got the big fucking white head and sort of brown face.
Oh, do you mean like professional golfers? I think it's a sponsorship thing. Like the same reason like Formula One guys, if you ever watch them like immediately after a race, like they'll go into the table and they'll be on with the watches and they'll be like getting all their straps to their sponsors and that one.
Aye, that's what we.
Right, golf. That's the end of the episode. Thanks very much for sending in your questions. Sorry we didn't get too many of them. I don't think we're any further forward with figuring out what was what in any of those questions, but we gave it a bash anyway. If you want to hear more, stay tuned. Go and subscribe because we'll be recording Shortbangers extra right after this with some even more questions to get through. It might even be better questions, who knows. Right, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink what I know.